us say example number 5, in which we have a current carrying cross section where the radius of the cross section is A. So we have a wire having the radius of the cross section to be A, and current is uniformly distributed across the cross section. It means, let us assume it is a solid cylindrical wire having radius A. So here it is given that current is uniformly distributed across the cross section, means we assume that the wire is solid cylindrical and the radius of the cross section is A. We know that the current is due to the motion of electron. So let this be the motion of electron. So all the electrons are flowing in the opposite direction of the current. All the electrons are free to move through this cross section. Now for simplicity, let us draw this wire in a vertical direction. This is the cross section of the wire. Let the radius is A. So this is the cross section of the wire. The radius of the wire is A. The current is, let us assume the current is upward. So instead of this horizontal wire, we make it a vertical. Now you have to find out the magnetic field in the region R less than A and R greater than A. Means one point is outside the wire and another point is inside the wire. So there are two cases and we have to apply the Ampere-Circuital law. In the previous lecture, we applied Ampere-Circuital law for infinite long wire. The wire was assumed to be a thin wire. Here we have the cross-sectional area. We assume there is a thickness, or let us say the current is flowing through a solid cylinder. Now all the charges are uniformly distributed on this surface that is shown here. Now I will consider two cases. Let us consider first case to be R greater than A, that is outside. So let us consider one point P which is at a distance R. Here R is greater than A. Now I have to apply the Ampere-Circuital law. So the first step will be, let us take an Amperian loop. So this is an Amperian loop. And the Amperian loop is chosen in such a way that the magnetic field is tangential to this loop. So it will become easier for us if we choose an Amperian loop such that it is tangential to the line element. Now we divide this. We know that if the current is moving upward, we apply a right hand thumb rule. We have taken point at this side, so magnetic field is going inward, or the magnetic field lines will be a concentric circles but anti-clockwise. So we divide this loop into a line elements, that is dl, dl, dl. Because the magnetic field is tangential, the line element is taken in the direction of the magnetic field intensity. Now we apply the Ampere-Circuital law. Clearly, the direction of the magnetic field intensity at any point is along the tangent. At any point, the magnetic field intensity is along the tangent. And the entire wire is enclosed in this Amperian loop. So I have taken the Amperian loop like this. this is the distance of point P. So this entire wire is inside the Amperian loop. So this is my Amperian loop. So all the electrons, so suppose there are 4 electrons. So when these 4 electrons are moving opposite to the current, it will pass through this Amperian loop. So all at microscopic level, all the charges are contributing to the magnetic field intensity at point P. So theory can be written like this: according to Ampere's circuital law, closed integration or line integration of B dot dl is equal to mu naught IE. Therefore, closed integration B dl cos 0 is equal to mu naught I. The entire wire is enclosed, and again we apply the sign convention for the current, because the line element is in the anti-clockwise direction. I curl my fingers in the direction of the line element. The thumb is upward, so current in upward direction should be taken as positive. Here the current is taken in the upward direction, so it is positive. So this becomes B line integration dl cos 0 is 1 mu naught I, and therefore the line integration of this dl will be equal to 2 pi r, where r is also the radius of the Amperian loop. So this is equal to mu naught I. So B is equal to mu naught I upon 2 pi r, where r is greater than A. Very much similar to a wire of infinite length and a thin wire. So here we have considered the cross-sectional area of the wire. So outside this wire, whether the wire is thin or thick, the magnetic field intensity outside is given by the formula mu naught I upon 2 pi, distance of a point from the center of the wire or from its axis. So this is from the center of the wire or its axis. Now we have to apply this law for a point which is inside the wire. So the point is to be taken inside the wire. So let us find out the magnetic field intensity at a point inside a wire. So case 2, R is less than A, that is inside. So now we will consider a point inside this wire. We have assumed that current is uniformly distributed across the cross section. So it is a solid cylinder example. If we have a hollow cylinder, then the situation will be different, because if we have a hollow cylinder, all the electrons will be moving on the surface of the cylinder, and inside the magnetic field will be 0, because we have a hollow part there. Here we have a solid part. So now we will consider a point which is inside. Now this is a wire. The radius of the wire is A. This is the axis of the wire, current I, upward. Now I consider point inside it, that is R is less than A. Again, I draw an Amperian loop. Same procedure. Again I make a line element. Same procedure. The magnetic field will be along the tangent. The magnetic field will be along the tangent, means the theta will remain same. But why I have drawn this electron? When the current I is uniformly distributed over the cross section, and if we assume there are 4 electrons, all the electrons are passing through this cross section of the wire. If I take a point outside, so if I in the previous case, in this case, all the electrons, the number of electrons passing through the Amperian loop is 4. But now what will be the situation here? Here it may be possible that some electrons are not passing through this Amperian law. So the magnetic field intensity contribution of the current is not due to all the electrons. So in this situation, we have to find out how much current is enclosed in this Amperian loop. So let us see how we will find it. First we write a step. Again the same step. According to Ampere's circuital law, now I write this as directly B dl cos 0 is equal to mu naught IE. Therefore, B line integration of dl is equal to mu naught IE. Equation number 1. Now I have to find out IE, that is the current enclosed, because at a microscopic level all the charges will not be passing through the Amperian loop. So some electrons or few charges are flowing through this cross section. So the magnetic field intensity would be different at this point. So how to find out? One method is, if I consider the entire cross section, so if my cross sectional area is pi a square, that is the area of the wire, then the current flowing is I. Now if I take the area of the Amperian loop, the radius of the Amperian loop is r, small r. So r is the radius of Amperian loop. So the area of Amperian loop is pi r square. So how much current is passing through it? So it comes out to be I pi r square upon pi a square. Pi is cancelled. So this much current is passing through it, that is I r square upon a square. This is one way. Another way is to define current density. We know that the current density is given by, so we know that J was equal to integration of I was equal to integration of J dot dA. Now this is another method to find out the current enclosed. The direction of current density is same as that of current and area vector. So if I take a area vector and current, they are in the same direction. So this dot can be removed. And if the current is constant, this is the general equation. If you remember, if we have the cross-sectional area perpendicular to the current, then J was given as I upon A. So I can do this J dot dA cos of 0, that is 1, integration J integration of dA. Let us assume the area is A. Here capital A is the area. So J becomes I upon A. So in this situation, here I will first find out the current density. So current density will be equal to I upon the area of the wire. And if you remember, its unit is ampere per meter square. So it is like this. If the area is 1 meter square, the current is 1 ampere. So area pi a square, the current is I. Now, what should be the current I enclosed? So here IE can be written as J into dA, or you can say the area of the Amperian loop. So I can be written as J into dA. So this will be equal to I upon pi a square, and dA means the area of Amperian loop. Again pi is cancelled. So this is another method where we can take the help of current density. Current density gives a current per meter square. So indirectly we did this only here. Here we have used the symbols. So for the cross sectional area, pi a square, so we write here for cross sectional area pi a square, current is equal to I. Therefore, for cross sectional area pi r square, current IE is equal to I r square upon a square. So we'll substitute this equation 2 here. So B, line integration of Amperian loop, that is 2 pi r equal to mu naught I r square upon a square. 1 r is cancelled. So B is equal to mu naught I r upon 2 pi a square. So this is an expression for r less than a, or you can say B is directly proportional to the radius of the Amperian loop, and in this case B was inversely proportional to the distance of point P. So when we come near to the wire, the magnetic field intensity blow up, that is directly proportional to R, and if we are moving away, it is inversely proportional to the R. So these are the expression. Now suppose this point P is lying on this axis itself. So if a point P is lying on the axis of the wire, current carrying wire, so R would be equal to 0. So we will not apply that formula. Once you come inside, we apply this formula, R becomes 0. So B is equal to 0. So if point P is on the axis of the wire, or if I say it is a solid cylinder, and if point P is at the axis of the cylinder or at its center, then the magnetic field intensity should be 0. Also we have seen this in an example 4.4 or something like that, where we have taken the situation like this, where we applied a Biot-Savart law. We found the magnetic field intensity at this point due to this wire or a straight segment to be 0, because again in Biot-Savart law we write IDL cross R vector, that is a displacement vector. So if point P is lying on the axis of the wire, then the magnetic field intensity is 0. Now let us plot the graph. So graph should be clear when, so let this graph be B versus R, where R is a distance of a point from the center. So if our point is on the axis of this wire, the magnetic field intensity is 0. As I move away from the wire, the magnetic field intensity increases in direct proportion, and this increases till I reaches to the surface of the cylinder, or say a surface of the wire. So this is R is equal to A. This is the magnetic field intensity at the surface, or you can say it is a maximum value. So B is directly proportional to R. And as I move away from this wire, the magnetic field intensity is in inverse relation, that is it decreases. So this is the important graph of B versus R for a magnetic field intensity if the current is uniformly distributed on the surface of the wire. Now let us see the numericals from the exercise, which are the direct application. They are MCQ based. In question number 1, we have a coil of 100 turns. The radius of the coil is 8 centimeter and the current is 0.4 ampere. So we have a circular loop which have 100 turns, and we have to find out the magnetic field at the center. So the direct formula, we know that B center is equal to mu naught I upon 2R. All the values are given. You substitute these values and find out the answer. So direct application of B center. Now this was the formula when we have considered only 1 tons. There are 100 tons. So we multiply it by n. So in this situation, the formula becomes mu naught Ni upon 2R. Now let us come to the second question. Again, a long wire. Here if it says a long wire, it is infinitely long wire. You have to find out the magnetic field intensity at 20 centimeter from the wire. So clearly we have derived this formula with the help of the Ampere's law. So this is a long wire, that is I is equal to 35 ampere. We have to find out the magnetic field intensity at point P, which is 20 centimeter. You have to find out only the magnitude. So you can take a point on either side, either you take a point P on this side or on that side, but the direction will be opposite. If I take a point on this side, the magnetic field will be going into the plane of the board, and if I take a point on this side, the magnetic field will be coming outward. However, we have to find out the magnitude. So again, the direct formula is mu naught I upon 2 pi r, which is we have derived just now with the help of the Ampere circuital law. Question number 3. Here a horizontal plane is given. In an horizontal plane, the current of 50 ampere is flowing from north to south. So let us take this as a horizontal plane. You have to find out the magnetic field intensity at 2.5 meter east of the wire. Now in this situation, in the question, they have given you the directions. So while answering, we have to also give the direction of the magnetic field intensity. So we consider this horizontal plane. So let us consider that a horizontal plane is like this. So this is my horizontal plane, which is drawn like this. So this is an horizontal plane. This direction is taken as north and south. So this is north and this is south. So north-south direction. So east-west is taken like this. So your point is 2.5 meter east of the wire. That is, if I take this horizontal plane, the current is flowing from north to south, and the point is 2.5 meter east of the wire. So this is a point P, which is 2.5 meter. So if I take this as north-south direction, the point is 2.5 meter on the east of the wire. So clearly the formula is mu naught I upon 2 pi r. So the magnitude of magnetic field intensity will be mu naught I upon 2 pi r. I is given, r is given. We can find out the magnitude. Now we have to find out the direction. So current is flowing from north to south. So this is north south. So let us see the situation here. This is my horizontal plane. This is my north pole. This is my south pole. Here the point is on the east and this is the west. Current is flowing from north to south. So my thumb will be coming out. The direction of magnetic field intensity will be like this. If I curl my fingers, the circle will be formed in anti-clockwise direction. Point P is here. So if I stop at this point, it will be upward, that is along the tangent. So the magnetic field intensity is in the upward direction if we consider, according to the question, the north-south to be on a horizontal plane. So if I redraw this diagram in a vertical plane, say I take this north-south, so current will be downward. This is north, this is south, and point P is here. So the magnetic field will be like this. At point P, it will be coming outward. So if we draw a vertical plane, the magnetic field is coming out from the point P, and if I draw the horizontal plane as given in the question, the magnetic field intensity is in the upward direction. So current is from north to south. You curve your fingers. Circle is formed like this. You first make a circle, stop at this point, so it will be along the tangent. So the direction of magnetic field at point P is upward, or you can say coming out from point P. So it is coming out or originating from the point P. So this is question number 3. Question 4 is also similar to question number 3. So question number 4, similar to 3. Now we have a power line which is carrying a current 90 ampere from east to west. Again we have drawn a horizontal plane. Find the B at 1.5 meter below the line. So again, this is north, this is south, east and west. The current is flowing now from east to west. So this is the direction of current from east to west. And the point P is below the line R. So again the magnitude will be mu naught I upon 2 pi R, that is a Biot-Savart law. So this is east-west, north-south is like this, point is here. So now the point is below this line. Now the current is flowing from east to west. So my thumb is pointing from east to west. I curl my fingers. See, the point P is here. So the circle is formed like this. The circle is formed like this. My point is here. So at this point, the tangent comes outward. That is coming out from the board. And what is that direction? This is your north-south. This direction is north-south. This is east-west. So this is east-west. This is north-south. We have taken a horizontal plane. So at this point, the field line is coming outward. And this direction is south. So the direction of B vector at point P is along south. So this is east-west, and this we have taken this to be an this diagram or this plane is taken as horizontal. So if I take this as north-south and this as east-west, current is flowing like this. Again point P is below, so I apply the law like this. So the magnetic field intensity will be along the tangent. So we take a horizontal plane so that the direction would be easy to find out instead of a because the power line will be a horizontally, it will be moving, so we have taken the power line to be horizontal. So this is, we have the application of the Ampere's law. So we wind up our lecture at this point. Have a nice day.